She appeared out of nowhere, dragged his little girl from a flaming car, then vanished before anyone could even ask her name. Months later, he saw her again, doing something no one could believe. The highway was chaos, smoke, sirens, screaming. Thomas could barely breathe, his hands bloody from trying to break the passenger window. His car was on fire, crushed on the side from the crash, and his 5-year-old daughter, Mia, was still inside, buckled in, crying. Fire was crawling under the hood. The driver's side wouldn't budge. A small crowd had gathered, but no one moved. People yelled for help. Some filmed, others froze. The heat was unbearable. Then, she came. A woman in a gray hoodie, jeans torn at the knees, sprinted toward the wreck. No gloves, no hesitation, just a fire extinguisher in one hand and a rock in the other. She smashed the back window in 2 hits. Thomas shouted, "Get her out, please!" The woman dropped the extinguisher, crawled halfway inside the burning car, unbuckled Mia with shaking hands, and yanked her free just as the dashboard sparked violently. By the time paramedics arrived, she was gone. No name, no license plate, no "you're welcome." The news called her the ghost hero. Thomas never stopped searching. Until one rainy night, walking past a shelter downtown, he saw a familiar hoodie inside, and froze. Thomas stepped closer to the shelter window, his heart pounding. The rain blurred the glass, but he could see her, sitting quietly in a corner, head down, handing out food to a line of people. Her hair was damp, her shoes worn through. But it was her. He would never forget those eyes, the same eyes that had looked into his car, fearless, and pulled his daughter out of hell. He rushed inside, ignoring the cold water dripping from his coat. She turned as he approached, and for a moment she froze, like she recognized him too. "You," he said, voice low, stunned. "You saved my daughter." The volunteers around them glanced up. She looked embarrassed, shook her head slightly. "You've got the wrong person." "No," he said firmly, stepping closer. "You ran into a burning car for her. You didn't even wait around. Why?" She glanced towards the exit like she might run again. Thomas softened his voice. "Please, just tell me your name." After a long pause, she said quietly, "It's Lexi." He exhaled. "Lexi, why did you do it? You could have died." Lexi looked down at her hands. "Because once, someone saved me, and I never got to thank them either." He sat across from her at the folding table. "Where have you been all this time?" "Here, around. I help out when I can. Don't stay in one place too long." "But why leave that day? Why not let people know what you did?" Lexi looked up, her eyes tired but kind. "Because heroes don't need cameras. They just need to show up when it matters." Thomas pulled out his phone and showed her a photo. Mia, healthy, smiling in a princess dress. "She still talks about you. She has nightmares sometimes, but she always says the lady with the hoodie came for her." Lexi swallowed hard. "Please," Thomas added, "come meet her. Let her see your face again. She deserves to know who saved her." Lexi was quiet for a long time. Then she finally whispered, "Okay." The next morning, Thomas pulled up outside his house. The driveway was quiet. The world looked normal, not like a place where a miracle was about to walk through the front door. Lexi sat beside him in the passenger seat, hands fidgeting in her lap. She had borrowed a clean jacket from the shelter. Still the same worn jeans, but her hair was brushed, and for the first time she looked nervous. "You don't have to say anything," Thomas told her gently. "Just let her see you." Lexi nodded. Inside, Mia was in the living room playing with plastic animals on the rug. She looked up as the door opened. Thomas stepped in first. "Hey, Peanut, Remember the lady from the car? Who helped you?" Mia nodded slowly, eyes wide. "Well, she's here." Lexi stepped forward, quietly, unsure. Mia studied her for a long moment, tilting her head, like she was piecing together a memory. Then, without a word, Mia walked across the room and hugged her. Lexi dropped to her knees, caught completely off guard as the little girl wrapped her arms around her neck and whispered, "I wasn't scared after you came." Tears hit Lexi's face before she could stop them. Thomas watched from the doorway, emotion swelling in his chest. They sat on the rug for almost an hour. Mia told her about the stuffed bear she'd had in the car, about the way the smoke smelled, about how her daddy cried, but she didn't, because the lady with strong hands told her, "You're safe now." Lexi smiled. "You were very brave, Mia." Mia grinned. "Daddy says you're a hero." Lexi looked at Thomas. "I'm not." He stepped forward. "You are, whether you like it or not." Mia climbed into Lexi's lap. "Will you come back?" Lexi looked at her, then at Thomas, then at the quiet home full of warmth she hadn't felt in years. "Yeah," she whispered. "If that's okay." Thomas nodded. It's more than okay. Weeks passed, and Lexi became part of their lives like she'd always been there. No titles, no attention, just dinners around the table, stories at bedtime, and quiet moments that didn't need explanation. Mia followed her everywhere, like a shadow that giggled. And Lexi? She started smiling again. Real smiles, the kind that reached her eyes. One night, after Mia had fallen asleep with her head in Lexi's lap, Thomas brought out 2 mugs of tea. They sat on the porch, wrapped in silence and the soft sound of crickets. "I still don't understand," he said quietly. "You had nothing to gain. Why risk your life that day?" Lexi stared out at the dark trees. "When I was 16, I was in a wreck. Car flipped. Fire started under the seat. I couldn't move. But a stranger pulled me out. Never saw them again. Just a blurry face and a voice that said, 'You're gonna be okay.' She looked at him. I lived because someone didn't hesitate. I promised myself. If I ever got the chance, I'd do the same." Thomas's voice cracked. "You didn't just save Mia, you brought her back to life, and me too." Lexi blinked hard. "I didn't expect this, a family, a second chance." "You didn't get lucky," Thomas said. "You deserved one." They sat there for a while, not saying much, watching as the porch light cast soft shadows behind them. Inside, Mia stirred in her sleep and whispered one word. "Mommy." Lexi's breath caught. Thomas looked at her gently. "You don't have to answer that today, but one day, if you want to stay, you'll never have to disappear again." Lexi looked at the door and nodded. "I think I already have."